Hi, sixth graders. How are you? Welcome to our next grammar class. Remember, you're going to watch the video, then you're going to answer some quizzes. This week is going to be a little bit different because we were not able to come back to school. We're going to make a note, okay? For you guys, that note, you're going to copy it exactly the same on your notebook. So the first step would be to write down, copy the note, so that you have it on your notebook when I'm explaining all this that you can see that I wrote here. Because I don't have a board, I was not prepared for this, but I'm trying to do what I can with what I have. So first copy the note so that you have it there on your notebook, and so that you can follow the class with your notebook there, okay? And then first the notebook, then you watch the video, you watch the explanation, and then at the end you're gonna go to the third link, which is the quiz, okay? And you're gonna answer them. That is to see how good you understood the grammar subject, okay? So this class will be about reflexive pronouns, okay? First of all, I want to um, go through what is a pronoun. Well, a pronoun is it's a word that replaces the name of a person, place, or thing. A person, place, or thing is a noun, okay? So instead of saying the name of the person, if it's a girl, you say she. If it's a boy, you say he. Instead of saying your own name, you say I, okay? Those are pronouns, okay? Those are subject pronouns, okay? Now, on the note, you're going to see a pronoun chart. On that pronoun chart, I want you to understand that the pronouns that you know, like the most common ones or the ones that we see the most, are these ones: I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Okay, those are the most common ones because those are the subject, but they exist a lot more pronouns. Okay, those are not the only ones. So on that pronoun chart, I have it right here on my phone. We have the subject pronouns, which I just mentioned. We also have the object pronouns: me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. Okay? Now I think you're not able to see very well here, but you have it on your notebook already. It says first person, second person, third person, and it explains you when you're going to use each subject pronoun or object pronoun. Okay? Now, before I go to the main point, which is reflexive pronouns, which is this column right here in red, um, there's also the possessive adjectives, which is my, your, his, her, its, our, your, their. Okay, I'm not going to get into that because that's not the subject, but they exist. Okay, there's also the possessive pronouns. Those ones, we use them when something it's under our possession. That's why the name. Okay, so for example, if this book, whose is it? Who's the owner of this book? Oh, this book is mine. Okay, this book is yours. This book is his. This book is hers. This book is ours. This book is yours. And this book is theirs. Okay, those are the possessive pronouns. Okay, so they exist, and you're going to see them on the pronoun chart because it's important for you to know that they exist. Now, going to the reflexive pronouns, which I'm going to start the class now. We use reflexive pronouns when the subject and object of a sentence are the same. Okay, so we're talking about something about the same person or the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to give you two examples before I go to this explanation. The first example is he hurt himself when he was running. Now, who hurt him? He hurt. Who hurt him? Well, he did. So you're not going to say he hurt he. He hurt him. It's like too repetitive. So it doesn't sound that repetitive. We use these reflexive pronouns. Okay? He hurt himself. Okay? And then with the girl, with the female, she made herself a sandwich. Who made the sandwich? She did. For her. For who? For her. Okay? So she made a sandwich for her. She made herself a sandwich. Okay, this is when we use the reflexive pronouns. I'm sorry. Another example says, teachers often decorate their classrooms themselves. Okay, themselves, we use it for them. Okay, so the teachers, who decorated the teacher's classroom? Well, they did. Okay, so that's when we use the teachers decorated their classrooms themselves. Okay, let's keep moving. Okay, so we have the three columns. I didn't want to write the complete pronoun chart here because it was going to be too much and we don't really need it. I only wrote the subject pronouns and the object pronouns because when we use the reflexive pronouns, it's because subject and object are on the sentence and it's the same one. When the subject and the object, it's the same on the sentence, you're talking about the same subject, the same object, that's when we're going to use the reflexive pronouns. Okay? So we're going to go one by one. When we're talking in first person, I say I. Okay? I am, you are, he is, she is, it is, we are, you are, they are. Now that's the verb to be. But this is the subject pronouns, okay? The object pronoun. Now, I always tell you, remember when we were looking at active and passive voice? When we have an active sentence, to make it a passive voice, we switch the subject and the object. Yeah? Remember, Rodrigo is my subject. Rodrigo broke the window. Window is the object. Now, if I want to make it a passive, I make it all the way around. The window was broken by Rodrigo. So I change the subject for the object. Okay? So what happens when we're talking about the same subject pronoun and the same object pronoun? Okay, for example, Rodrigo hurt Jimena. Who received the action? Jimena, because Jimena was hurt. So now I'm going to switch it around. Jimena was hurt by Rodrigo. So now my subject is at the end of the sentence and my object is at the beginning. Okay? Sounds clear? Okay, so Rodrigo hurt Jimena. Jimena was hurt by Rodrigo. Now, in this case, we still have Rodrigo, we still have Jimena, because we're not talking about the same subject and the same object, because Rodrigo is one person, Jimena is another. We're not talking about the same people. Now, when we talk about the same people, Rodrigo hurt Rodrigo. You're not going to say Rodrigo hurt Rodrigo. It doesn't sound right. Okay? So there is when we're going to use the reflexive pronouns. Rodrigo hurt himself. Why himself? Because Rodrigo is a male. It's a he. Okay? Rodrigo hurt himself. Okay? Jimena hurt herself. Now it's herself because we're talking about a girl, a female. Jimena hurt herself. So now we're going to use herself because it's a she. It's a female. Okay? So when we have the same subject at the beginning and the same object, because Rodrigo is performing the action, but at the same time he's receiving it. Why? Because Rodrigo hurt. Who did he hurt? Rodrigo. Rodrigo subject, Rodrigo object. So instead of saying Rodrigo, Rodrigo, now I'm going to use a reflexive pronoun. Rodrigo hurt himself. He's performing the action, but at the same time he's receiving. So he becomes the subject, but also the object. So again, instead of saying Rodrigo hurt Rodrigo, I'm going to say Rodrigo hurt himself. Now, on the examples that I have here, she made herself a sandwich. She is my subject because she is performing the action. She made the sandwich. She is my subject. She made herself a sandwich. Herself, it's because at the same time she's receiving the action of making a sandwich. So she made herself a sandwich. Same subject, same object. Okay, is it clear? Okay, let's continue. Now, when we talk in second person, we use you, okay? You hurt yourself. You did it. You hurt yourself. You did it. You received the action. It. We use the pronoun it when it's a thing. Okay, so for example, the table. The table is not able to be cleaned by itself. Can a table be cleaned by the same table? No, because it's an object. So normally these ones we're gonna use them as a negative. Okay, so the table wasn't clean itself. The table didn't clean itself. The table didn't clean itself. Okay, now this is for objects, and then we have we. We is when it says here you're talking in first person, but you're including yourself with the group of people. We. Okay, I'm including myself. We. So when I say we in a reflexive pronoun, it's ourselves. Okay, and then when you say they, you're talking in third person. You're not including yourself. It's someone, it's a group of people, but you're not included. Okay, so they, I'm not included. When it's a reflexive pronoun and you're not included, you say themselves. Okay, so they made a sandwich themselves. You're talking about a group of people making a sandwich for them. They made a sandwich themselves. Okay, so I hope this is clear enough. Now this is an important thing that you need to see. We don't use reflexive pronouns with verbs that describe things you usually do yourself. It's things that are too obvious. Okay, for example, Clara dressed herself and went to school. You're not going to say Clara dressed herself. It's very obvious that she dressed herself. I mean, of course, if we're not talking about a baby, right? Remember that when we generalize, we don't use those specific examples where it's impossible, right? It's impossible to have like a complete, a generalized idea. So we're going to think about something obvious, okay? We're going to use the word obvious. It's obvious that Clara dressed herself. So you're not going to say, you're just going to say, Clara dressed and went to school. Okay, you're not going to say herself, it's too obvious. And then, I washed myself in the stream next to my tent. Unless you're a baby, again, well, probably your mother will do it for you. But in this case, we're not going to say myself because it's like too obvious. Or, I washed myself my hands. Well, I know you did it by yourself because they're your hands. You washed them. Okay, so that's something obvious. We're not going to use reflexive pronouns when it's something obvious. Okay? So this is it. This is like the class. I want to make some examples with you guys. The first example that we're going to do is they, oops, let me use another marker. Okay, they really enjoyed at the park. At the park. Okay, who are we talking about? Who is the subject? Who is performing the action? They. If you see this is a subject pronoun. Who is performing the action? They. They really enjoyed at the park. Now, which reflexive pronoun are we going to use? If we're using the subject pronoun they, which one are we going to use? They really enjoyed themselves at the park. So if you see they, I'm going to choose themselves, okay? So it's going to be they really enjoyed, they really enjoyed themselves at the park, okay? So take a look first at the subject pronoun so then you can choose the correct reflexive pronoun, okay? Okay, so the next example is my dog can't, remember when it's a thing we're normally going to use negatives because things can't do things on their own. My dog can't wash space, so I have to do it. Okay? Now, dogs is something that we can use as a pronoun he or she if we know if it's a he or a she. And if it would be a he, we would use himself. If it's a she, we would use herself. Here, they're not saying if the dog is a girl or a boy, so we're going to take it as an object, okay? My dog can't wash. Dog is it. My dog can't wash itself, so I have to do it. So he can't watch him. He can't take a bath on his own. So my dog can't wash itself, so I have to do it. Now, remember, if you're talking about your dog and it's a girl, it's a female, my dog can't wash herself, so I have to do it. If it's a male, would be my dog can't wash himself, so I have to do it. Okay? And then I'm going to do the last example, which is be careful. Be careful. You might hurt. Space. Okay, now, where is the subject? Be careful. You might hurt. Who is performing the action, which is hurt? Who is performing? You. You. So, be careful. You might hurt yourself. Okay? We're going to use yourself because the subject is you, so we're going to use a reflexive pronoun, yourself. Okay? Be careful. You might hurt yourself. Okay? It's not that hard. Probably you can get confused when there's the name of a person, and I'm going to do one. For example, Mario bought a cake. Mario bought a cake for space. Okay? Now, where is the subject? Where is the subject pronoun? Mario bought a cake for. Is there I in the sentence? No. Is there you on the sentence? You bought. No, it's Mario. He bought a cake for. She bought a cake for. No. It bought a cake for. We bought a cake for. You bought a cake for. They bought a cake for. Now, in this case, because we don't literally have the subject pronoun written on our sentence, we have to identify who is Mario. Which subject pronoun are we going to use to replace Mario? In this case, Mario is one person, okay? And Mario is a male, okay? So it would be he. Now, you're not talking about yourself. You're not talking about someone else. You're talking in second person. I'm sorry, in third person. You're talking in third person, and Mario is a male, okay? He's a male. So Mario would be a he, okay? So instead of saying Mario, I can also say he bought a cake for. But in this case, it's Mario, so that's where I don't want you to get confused. Mario bought a cake for. If Mario is a male, if it's a he, which relative pronoun are we going to use? Mario is a boy, he. So it would be himself. Mario bought a cake for himself. Himself. Okay, so you just have to be very careful on identifying very well the subject pronoun, so then you can choose which reflexive pronouns you're going to use. Okay, so that's it from my part. I hope you guys enjoyed the class. Don't forget to answer the quiz. It's the last link. Remember, you go in there, you answer the 10 questions, and then you submit. That's the way that I'm going to grade your knowledge, okay? Well, I hope you guys are doing well. Stay safe at home. If we stay at home, hopefully we're going to see us very soon. I really miss you guys so much. I miss the school. I miss everything. I miss you guys a lot, a lot, a lot. So I'm going to stay home for you guys and for me and for my family so that we can go back to our normal life pretty soon. Okay. Remember, if you have any question, you can always email me. Okay, send me an email. We're gonna be looking at each other every day. We can also solve our questions there. Remember to stay safe. Remember, any questions, I'm here for you. I'm here to listen to you. Any sixth grader, okay, I'm gonna solve the doubts of everybody. I love you guys. Stay safe. Bye.